What's up, fighters? Wolfpack reporting for duty.
And this is Shimaro here, coming in.
And we are K9 Calamity. Welcome to a brand new episode of True North Fighters. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right into the details. So, Shimaro, take it away.
So, as you guys may have noticed, Pharaoh is not currently with us. He's away at college, and his class schedule is kind of picking up a little bit. So, he's going to be kind of in and out with the show. But we'll hopefully have him in later episodes. But for the meantime, me and Wolf are going to keep you guys entertained. And just as a quick announcement, so our YouTube channel is going to get delayed by about a week. We had a couple scheduling issues, plus we're still trying to get our heads around the capture card technology for the PS5 or PS4, whatever Wolf figures out. But we are going to get to that this coming weekend to record the video, and it should be out next week. So look forward to that. We will be giving our fresh opinions on Tekken 8, or at least I will. I know, Wolf, you've already beat the story mode already.
Yep, and I already got first taste of it when I was playing the demo prior to release, so right. It's going to be a whole new experience for you.
Yes, so he'll be showing me the ropes then. Moving on, we have one Rapid Punch headline for you this week. So, for those of you who have been looking forward to Spirit Fall, the devs did recently drop an actual release date. So, the full version of Spirit Fall is going to drop February 28th. So, again, the price is going to get bumped up as soon as the game is out fully. So if you haven't already got it and for the cheaper price right now, definitely go get it. Or of course, if you want to wait for it to get full price and then support the creators that way, that's fine too. But yeah, look forward to that. And like either way, definitely get a hold of this game because it's just a great roguelike fighter.
It looks absolutely amazing, man.
Mm-hmm. And now, Wolf, I believe you have some Capcom Cup X tournament news that you need to share with us concerning the first round of qualifications.
Yes, that is correct. So, as we all know, Capcom Cup X is starting up in a couple of weeks. February 16th is when the last chance qualifiers will be going down. That's going to be going till about February 18th. Then you have, I'm pretty sure I already went over the format last episode.
Yes, you did. But the important thing is that those last chance qualifiers are going to determine who gets that last 48th spot within the final tournament roster.
Exactly. Right now, 47 of 48 competitors have qualified. And of those 47, we have not one, not two, but 3 competitors from Canada.
Let's freaking go.
We've got 3 players repping the Great White North. First off, we've got Safe, who is a Ken main. He won the most recent tournament, which ended a few weeks ago. That was the Canada and US Midwest tournament. That was the Midwest Finals. And he's also placed first and third, respectively, in a couple of World Warrior Canada East tournaments. Then we have Mike X, also plays Ken, but he plays Luke as well. He won 3 Canada West tournaments and is the current regional champion for Canada West. And last but not least, Joe Ume Rogan, who is a Luke main, is also going to be competing. He's won a couple of Canadian tournaments as well. I believe he won a couple of Canada West tournaments as well. So we've got 3 Canadians in the running to become the inaugural Street Fighter VI champion.
And a couple of them already have international clout to throw around, so that will be... That's probably good chances for us, especially since now we have 3 out of those 48 contestants being Canadian, so I think we have a pretty decent shot at taking the first SF6 crown.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And actually, before we hopped on here, I did take a look at the character stat breakdown. There's an article about it, courtesy of Event Hubs. And of the 47 players, there are 17 players who are going to be utilizing these 2 specific characters. We have 9 players who are going to be representing Luke.
Wow.
9 players with Luke as their main choice, 2 of which will have him as a backup option. And then we have 8 players who will be maining Ken in the tournament, 2 of which will be using him as a backup option. So already right there, we have a ton of Ken players, a ton of Luke players. Our Canadian boys fit right into that category.
Especially since Ken's rocking the red.
There you go. That makes it even better. But what I found really interesting is that there are a handful of characters that are only being represented once.
Yeah, this is
in this tournament.
Yeah, so who is being represented? Like, given that a lot of the field is being taken up by Luke and Kane players here, Wolf.
Well, we're going to be seeing. If I remember correctly, there's going to be one Cammy player, one Ryu player, which is very shocking.
Yeah, that is very shocking, especially for Cammy, because like Cammy has that one ability that allows her to dodge through projectiles. I thought that would be like a shoe-in strategy for countering any sort of projectile user.
For sure. And it's really weird. I believe there's going to be a single Blanca player in there as well. I know there will be a few players utilizing Chun-Li, Guile, and JP, but as it turns out, there's actually going to be 5 different characters that'll be left out entirely from the tournament. So we are not going to be seeing Kimberly, Lily, we're not going to be seeing Aki, we're not going to be seeing Manon, which is insane.
That is kind of weird because, like, again, she has that throw that keeps getting stronger with her metal system, so I thought that would be like a really good strategy for tournaments, but I guess not.
Absolutely. I mean, it works really, really well, but unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword because, I mean, the metal system for Manon is borderline broken because you go ahead and cheese that, you can win rounds in no time at all. So, understandably so, you want to try and keep it as fair as possible. So, probably spamming the usage of the metal system is likely not the best way to go. Nonetheless, though, she's proven to be quite an effective character, and, I mean, if anyone's wondering why there are so many Ken and Luke players in this tournament, just look back to the character usage charts that Capcom has been putting out at the end of every month.
Yeah, they have been pretty high for Ken and Luke, haven't they? Although, I do remember you saying before that we have about 4 jury players to watch out for as well.
Yes, and she is going to be the wild card, in my opinion, because not only is she one of those sneaky characters that can surprise you at a moment's notice, but what I think is really going to get her going is her level 2 super. It's an install super, so it basically amplifies and enhances the priorities of her attacks.
Mm-hmm. And I can vouch for how tricky she is with the mix-ups, especially since you kicked my ass several times as her. So, yeah,
Yep.
So for our 3 Canadian boys, repping Ken and Luke, watch out. The jury players are here, so keep your guard up.
For sure. And again, as far as the character usage goes, you can go all the way back to the first couple of months post-launch. Judy was actually in the top 5 for some of the higher ranks. Obviously, the higher ranks were dominated by Ken. He was either number 1 or number 2. In most cases, he was number 1. But both of them also placed within the top 5 in some of the lower ranks as well. I believe Cammy might have topped those charts a few times.
Oh, no doubt, because like on release, she got a whole bunch of like. Honestly, it might not be the gameplay. It could have just been her outfit that got her the most popularity.
I don't know. When it comes, well, maybe. I honestly don't know.
Who knows? We don't know the true inner thoughts of players. Who knows?
This is a very good point. And I mean, look no further than her release trailer. A lot of people had their eyes on a certain aspect, which we're not going to name here, for the sake of any younger listeners that are tuning into this. But yes, we have 3 Canadian fighters going into Capcom Cup X. They have already qualified thanks to winning tournaments on the World Warrior circuit. So make sure to mark your calendars down. February 16th through to the 25th, Capcom Cup X. Let's get it, boys.
Yes, we will be giving as much coverage as we can. We will be watching the tournament as it plays out, and we will be giving our updates each week to give you guys the highlights so that you don't miss a thing.
Yep. And let's now turn it over from one well-known and iconic fighting game franchise to another iconic and well-known fighting game franchise.
Yes, that is right, because aside from the Devil Jin trailer coming out like the past week or so, we now officially have T8 like coming out as a full release. And Wolf, oh my gosh, the reviewers are just going crazy about this game. Like this is an easy contender for several nominations for the Game Awards in December.
Absolutely. We're seeing 5 stars. We're seeing 9 out of 10s, 9.5 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s. This quite easily is the best Tekken entry that this series has ever had. It looks great. It plays great. The story mode is as intense as it can possibly be. There are brand new additions, especially the arcade quest mode.
You're loving that just for the customization features.
Oh, oh, of course. And I also mention the customization is off the charts, and I really mean that because I have seen people going all out with it. They've actually gone on to pretty much recreate the appearances of characters outside of the Tekken franchise. I've seen the likes of Virgil and Dante from Devil May Cry. I've seen Leon Scott Kennedy and Ada Wong from Resident Evil. I've seen Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter. Man, oh man. This game, easily one of the best games so far for 2024. And, we're basically coming up to the end of January.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard to top Tekken 8, honestly.
Yeah, so definitely I think could very well be a Game of the Year contender. And in terms of best fighting game, Street Fighter VI is going to have some tough competition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be really freaking huge. And I think I could speak for a lot of people when I say that when it comes to the holy trinity of AAA fighting games, that being Tekken, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat, right now, Tekken is at the top of the list.
No doubt.
It is outperforming Street Fighter 6, and it's outperforming Mortal Kombat 1 right now.
Although, luckily, we can say that we can say with enough confidence that SF6 is at least taking that same second spot, because we all know how bad MK1's doing right now.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people will talk about that. I'm just going to give my quick 2 cents. I don't really like the over monetization and the excessive microtransactions that WB is implementing into this. And NetherRealm Studios just being like, go for it. It's completely fine. I love the game. And I love the gameplay. I love the story mode. I love invasions, but just the excessive microtransaction implementing, it doesn't fly. I mean, this isn't Fortnite, man. Come on. So
yeah,
that I'm just saying that I love Mortal Kombat, but I do not like Warner Brothers games for what they're doing with Mortal Kombat 1 right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
But getting back to T8, Wolf, you've played through it a little bit so far. You've gotten through the story mode. You've gotten a good handle on some of the characters, I imagine. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying this out for the first time when we start recording in the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be easier for you as well getting into it because Tekken 8 did actually take some inspiration from Street Fighter 6 by implementing special style. So it pretty much simplifies the controls a little bit. You've got specific buttons that you can press for easy air combos. You got a good ground attack. You got a special move that you can utilize, and the heat smash as well.
Oh, yes, the heat system. That we haven't even touched on that yet. That is a interesting system of just I kind of like to think of it as the fighters having that burst of adrenaline within when they're doing a fight,
which is absolutely amazing because obviously the goal here with Tekken 8 was making it seem as realistic as possible, and I think they nailed it.
I think so too.
Perfectly with the implementation of the heat system. As you said, it pretty much simulates when someone gets that burst of adrenaline.
A second wind, as it were.
There you go. So it is absolutely incredible. I love the fact that you can actually utilize your heat smash ability up to 3 times in a single round. Assuming that's in quick succession because it does drain over time.
And assuming that you get that, because I've heard that when you activate it yourself, instead of letting it just pop off naturally, then you have less time on it.
Exactly. But the good news is that it automatically refills at the start of each round.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about it being like a one and done thing in a particular game. So it is definitely a very unique mechanic, simplifies things, adds some more realism to the game, and I gotta tell you, I am very curious to see just how many of the top players in the world
start utilizing
will implement this into their strategies.
Yeah, and then this on top of like the rage arts and rage drives, like that just brings a whole new level of depth to the game.
Absolutely, and you can pull off some really wicked crazy stuff. I managed on a few occasions through the story mode, I have actually managed to chain heat smashes into my rage arts.
Ooh.
And it is nuts. It is absolutely nuts.
So is it safe to say that because the game is actually more accessible now to newer players, that we might see some new faces in the new Tekken tournaments coming up this year?
I think so. I think it is not far out of the realm of possibility at all. I think that given that we haven't even gotten into a week post-launch and people are already loving the game so much, I definitely expect to see a lot of new faces popping out of the woodwork and giving it their all on the big stage that is the Tekken World Tour.
And remember, guys, while we might not be on the big stage just yet, we are going to be on YouTube, so look forward to that in the coming week. We are going... Wolf is going to give me a rundown on how to play T8 again, and I will give my opinions, Wolf will give his opinions, and we'll have a little fun. We might give ourselves a few challenges to go through.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. What good is a video game if you don't add in some challenges for yourself, man?
Yeah, so that's happening in the coming week, so look forward to that. Anyway, moving on, we have another new game release to talk about, and this is actually another instance of an indie game that Wolf jumped onto before I did, which is honestly weird because indie games are kind of my rule house, so to speak. But yeah, I'm glad, Wolf. I'm glad you jumped on this anyway, because I think this is an important piece of like indie fighting game history that we cannot overlook, and it's definitely a series that we need to get into like as soon as we can. Like you are definitely gonna have to get like the first and second games.
Oh, definitely. Like the fact that I beat you to this 2 times in a row now. You know that Phineas and Ferb meme? That is literally what has just happened.
No!
You would only have 2 nickels because it's only happened twice. So, I beat you 2 times in a row.
I'm getting done by Disney memes. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
It's okay. He's going to impose his retribution and revenge on me when he kicks my ass later on.
It'll come swiftly and soundly.
Yes, it will. But yes, on to this particular game that just came out, I believe, on the 24th.
Something like that, yeah. But it's a mouthful. So,
yes.
What is the full title of this game? Like, all I know is that it's Under Night. But what is like the full title for this game?
Yes, so it is Under Night In Birth 2 Cis-Spec.
How does anyone expect this? How do any game devs expect us to remember that long of a name and actually pronounce that correctly?
I don't know. How do Japanese anime studios expect us to memorize an anime title that's like a dozen words long?
Well, at least for those ones, they have like an abbreviation, like
of course,
like the Konosuba anime, like Konosuba. That's easy to say and easy to remember, and you know it represents like a long ass title. So you know,
yes,
it's definitely possible.
Definitely, no disrespect to Japanese anime studios.
No.
By the way.
We love that. We love those shows. I'm a huge anime nerd. Wolf is just getting into it. So yeah, so plenty of love for the Japanese media.
Yeah,
but
yes,
yeah. So,
Under Night In Birth 2 Sync has just come out. I believe it was on the 24th. And this series, I have no knowledge of this series whatsoever outside of...
We will be getting into this.
Yes. Outside of my experiences with BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, where Under Night In Birth was one of the crossover titles for this game, or at least for the base game anyway, because the 2.0 update introduced 5 more franchises to the game. But yeah, that's like the only sort of knowledge or experience I have with the Under Night franchise. So this is definitely going to be one of those things where I am going to have to do a lot of research, and I'm going to have to take my time with my playthroughs for this game, because I want to make sure that I'm understanding, most of the stuff that's going on, if not all the stuff that's going on.
Right, and Wolf, you're getting into a really interesting story, because Under Night is probably one of the few indie games that's really gotten a huge, like, AAA levels of popularity, because it's like the only indie fighter that you see consistently, like, alongside like those top AAA games like the Holy Trinity and stuff like Guilty Gear Strive and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it's just amazing that it's just a team of like 12 people from Japan who are making this, and is such high quality. Like this is an anime fighter, so it's gonna be flashy as all hell and have crazy mechanics.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that this is just an indie studio that's doing this, that's just like a small team, and like they're actually competing with the AAA titles. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely amazing. So I think this is like a great example of like how good indie games can be if the devs just put in the effort.
Yeah, it is absolutely wild how far this franchise has come in. I believe it started up about roughly a decade ago.
Yeah,
long it's, how far it's come over the years. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I believe like it's like I think it got its start on Steam, and then it was in early access for a while, so everyone got to see how it developed, and then it came out fully, and then I think they had DLC later on. So it's definitely had a good like the first game had a good lifespan, and now we get to see what's in the second game, which, as you've told me, there are like 6 new characters I think they're adding in.
Yep, they added 6 new characters. Three of which they announced the day before release. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that happen.
Call that hype train.
You got that right. But yes, Under Night In-Birth 2 SysSync is now out. I believe it's out on PlayStation, out on Xbox. I believe it's out on Switch. It is definitely out on Steam.
For sure.
I know that much because, heck, that's where it all began.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have not picked it up already, feel free to go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, if you guys are into like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear, DNF Duel, anything by Arc System Works, if you're a fan of those guys, you'll definitely like this style of fighting game with Under Night.
For sure. Which, come to think of it, I do need to get into Guilty Gear. I don't know why I've put that off for so long, but I need to get into Guilty Gear.
We've been very complacent in our Guilty Gear playing things, but
we have.
But that that's not a big surprise, because like on Steam, Strive is only available on PC, so I can't play it because I'm on Mac.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've released any Switch stuff yet.
I don't believe so. I'll have to double check on that one.
Yeah, so we'll add that to the pile of PS5 games that we need to get you.
Yes.
Get for you.
But
yeah.
Going back to the topic about new trailers dropping, you spotted a new trailer that dropped recently that has sparked a huge conversation and has got people very excited.
I see what you did there. So, if you guys remember from the Game Awards, they did a teaser trailer for a new Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi game. This is Sparking Zero, the latest installment in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, which has been a long time coming, because Budokai 3 came out, I think in like mid-2010s is when it first came out, and it had it boasted like a huge roster. I think it currently holds the record of that series for like 161 characters, and that's including all the transformations. And then it just went kind of dark. Like all the fans had since then was a fan-made mod of 3, which was the unofficial Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And like the modders, they really put in the passion and the effort into this, because they kept it up to date with all like all the new anime stuff. So when Super dropped and the Tournament of Power and the Zamasu arc, they made sure to keep updating they updated the story. They could have just stopped. They could have just gone as far as like just adding characters, but no, they added in whole chapters to the story to keep up with this, and it was absolutely amazing. But yeah, so the fans, like for those of the fans who were able to get that game unofficially, that was what had to hold him over. And then we had another Budokai Tenkaichi game not too long ago. I think it was 2020 that came out, but it was not well received. It was kind of janky, honestly. But yes, but now finally we have a new official good-looking Budokai Tenkaichi game, and of course it's gonna go through all the Dragon Ball Z and Super Sagas, which is no surprise. All the games go through that,
of course.
And timeless story, so it's no big surprise there. But yeah, so the new game is gonna come out. We don't have a release date for it yet, but this is looking pretty good. The animation looks pretty good. This looks like it came just out of it's basically Dragon Ball Fighters, but Arena Fighter, essentially.
It looks so smooth. It's so wild. It is high octane combat. A lot of people are going to enjoy this.
Yes, we have special attacks, we have beam clashes. There's a lot to it, and of course, we just had the Rivals trailer drop this past weekend at the time of this recording. It was crazy. We got to see most of the versions of Goku and Vegeta that they're going to be dropped, which is crazy because about 24 of the character slots in this game are going to be taken up just by different versions of Goku and Vegeta.
Which I still can't believe to this point. And not only that, but just the general roster size for launch.
Oh yeah, so
what?
So touching on that, for those of you listening who know the YouTuber C-Reacts, he is one of the self-proclaimed 3 idiots who play a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter games. So he actually went through. He dropped a video just in the past day at the time of recording, where he actually went through. He did a quick look at the trailer. He thought it was really nice, and I agree with him because it showed off we can get grade 8 form in this.
Oh hell yeah!
So he basically can run around as a giant and break the stage essentially. But yeah, so he actually went through this, and when they showed the actual roster size, not all the characters are revealed yet, but they showed the size of the roster. He actually painstakingly went through counting all of those, and the base roster is going to be at a whopping 164 characters. That is gonna just barely beat out Tenkaichi 3, and that's just the base roster. We could get a slew of DLC for all we know, and knowing Bandai, they're probably going to drop at least one season pass.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can tell you this right now, they'll probably have so much content that they'll probably need at least a good 4, maybe 5 seasons passes, maybe. I don't know. I might be exaggerating here.
Well, I wouldn't call it a big exaggeration because the Dragon Ball franchise, if you go back through its history, it has a lot of characters.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through.
Yeah, I could I could see it easily reaching 200, especially if you go through all the different forms that all of them have. Again, just Goku and Vegeta alone, their forms are filling up all of the the first 24 spots. And here's the thing, it's not just the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God forms you have to look out for, or the Grade 8 forms. It's they have different versions for the eras of these characters. So they have so they have early DBZ Goku and early DBZ Vegeta. They have mid. They have late DBZ Goku and Vegeta. They have Super Goku and Vegeta, and they even have different eras of the Super Saiyan 1 forms. So
jeez.
Yeah, so there's a lot being put on these two. But of course, we do also we have also seen reveals in the trailer for some other characters, Perfect Cell is coming back. We're definitely gonna get all the Z fighters like Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and Piccolo, obviously. And then I know that the androids are gonna be in there, 18 and 17. And yeah, so a couple others are going to be showing up, but that's all we got for right now. Jiren's going to come back, so for all you Jiren mains and Dragon Ball fighters who have been wanting to play him in Budokai games, he is going to finally be coming. We've also got that one wolf guy whose name eludes me. He was from the Tournament of Power. He's going to be coming in, which is awesome because I know he was a character that got put into the fan game. So for all of you who have played the unofficial Tenkaichi 4 and have wanted these in an official game, it is finally coming. We are going to get a historic roster of characters in this upcoming game, and I cannot wait for it. I unfortunately won't be able to play it because, again, on a Mac, these guys seem to love their PS5s and their PC, so Wolf is going to have to get that for me so I can play the heck out of it, but I know we're going to have an awesome time because I've been wanting to check out this series for a while, and we're finally going to get that with Sparking Zero.
That we will. And just before we wrap this up, I do have an important question that I want to ask, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Do you think Sparking Zero will reach the same levels of popularity and competitive gameplay as that of Xenoverse and Fighters?
That's an interesting question. Like, I'm not too well read up on like Bukai's history in terms of like tournaments, but I know like there's a good cult following for it, so I can definitely see it. Like, and the fact that they actually like teased it at the Game Awards tells me that there's a good sized audience and enough for Bandai to be like serious about getting this out, and like it looks good enough in quality that I think a bunch of fans, like even like we might even get a bunch of new fans playing this.
Oh yeah.
Whether it'll be like as big as like Fighters and Xenoverse that have gotten their own tournaments, I can't say for right now if Sparking Zero is going to get its own tournament tour, but it's definitely in the cards. I'd say, like given what we've seen in this game so far, just from the trailers alone, I would say it's a healthy possibility.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to look out for. So we'll make sure that we keep you guys as updated as we possibly can.
And as soon as it drops, we will be on YouTube trying it out.
Yes, exactly. So that pretty much wraps it up for game news as far as how things have gone over the past 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm. And next up, we have our indie spotlight. So, Wolf, you actually brought this to my attention. This is a game that I had wanted to get you into for the longest time. When I first saw it, it is Stick Fight the Game.
Yes,
and then you turn around and apparently you bought it without me even knowing, and you had played a little bit. So then of course we had to get on and try it ourselves, like just face each other in like a continuous match, which I gotta say, this game is a blast to play.
Yes. First off, Gesundheit. You're speaking with a mouthful right there. 2, it definitely lives up to the hype. It is pretty much as simple as it can possibly get. It's basically stick figures just beating the living crap out of each other. That's basically all it is.
Yeah, it's Smash Bros. Style, but and like you can throw your opponent off the arena, but of course you can also just lower their health. There is basically just the attack button and block button. You just like jump around. The arena changes each round to mix up a little bit. And of course, there are those stage hazards that we always seem to get caught up in. Yes,
and there are various different, I guess, worlds that you go through as you progress further through the game. Like you've got factories, you've got deserts, there's lava stages.
You got castle, like Japanese style castle.
Yep.
You have the Christmas stages, the Halloween stages, which I love the Halloween stages because that's when like the pumpkin heads come down and one person can become a boss.
Oh my god. See, I love everything about the Halloween stages except for that because I can never get there.
Dude, all you have to do is like grab the pumpkin head before I do, and you can be a boss too. And tell you what, next time we play that, I will let you get the pumpkin head first, just so I can try to beat you. Because
fair enough.
I like sure being the boss is fun, but I would love to try to take you on as the boss.
Yeah, fair enough. We can definitely make it happen. But yeah, there is a lot of chaos that comes from Stick Fight. Everything from moving platforms that are moving at like insanely high speeds.
Exploding barrels.
Stacks of boxes. Like wooden boxes that apparently don't break for whatever reason.
And they are the bane of your existence. Like
yes, they are. I freaking hate these things.
Guys, I am not joking. Every box stage where you have basically just balance on towers of boxes, I think I've almost always beaten Wolf on those stages.
I think I might have beaten you like once or twice on those.
Maybe.
But otherwise, like you have the winning record on those, especially the one particular stage where it's like two stacks of boxes put together. The very first time we did that, apparently the game somehow decided to have me slip between the stacks. Like, what was the game thinking?
You literally just jumped up, and then I think your momentum with the gravity just like pushed you, like you were just lined up perfectly. Like you just slip in between them, and then
apparently, yeah. And like literally a few seconds later, you came in. I was already trapped to begin with. You took advantage of that, and I was gone. I was gone. I could do nothing there. But I'll tell you what the funniest part about this game is the weaponry.
Oh god, yes,
the weaponry is insane. I mean, like there's spears, that you can use. It's very interesting that they put spears in there.
And swords. They have swords and spears
Swords
in there.
as well,
yeah,
yes.
So a couple of melee weapons, but the guns are probably the biggest stars of the weaponry here. Like, I mean, we have basically needle rifles that explode. We have grenade launchers, shotguns. Oh my gosh, the recoil on those shotguns is just... That kills me more often than it kills you, honestly. Just because I get recoil on that.
Yeah, the recoil is crazy, and not only that, but like in midair, you can't really change your trajectory.
Not easily.
So that just makes it even more difficult.
And then of course, like we have like some ice guns. We have some plasma guns. We have that damn ricochet gun, which you killed me with a crazy shot last time we played.
Somehow, yes, but I do remember you got the first kill with those when we first got to those. Yes. You got me on that. After I managed to avoid you for I don't even know how long.
You were turtling so much in that match, honestly. like you were just hiding camouflage, just like doing a wall jump at the bottom of the stage.
Honestly,
just to keep out of range.
Honestly, like that wasn't even planned. I just wanted to see how long I was gonna last doing that. That's it.
Of course, probably my favorite guns though are the snake guns.
Oh my god, those things are basically RPGs, but instead of loading them with rockets, you'll load them up with snakes.
Yeah, like there are the RPGs, there are like some guns too, and plus even some stages have like barrels of snakes that just fall down on you from above.
I know, the freaking snake barrels.
It is absolutely crazy. And then of course, like it's not just snakes, but you also have variants that have flying snakes.
Oh my god, the flying snakes, dude. Don't even get me started on the flying snakes.
Snakes with wings.
This isn't a Red Bull commercial.
No, it's not. It's
like this is an actual thing.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, like there's no Red Bull here. There's no wings being given by energy drinks. It is just snakes with wings, all Quetzalcoatl style.
It is so freaking weird. It's trippy, but it is hilarious as all hell. I would highly recommend this to probably just about anybody I could talk to. It is so much fun. You will not regret it. It may be as bare bones as it can possibly be gameplay wise, but
it's pretty fun, and especially if you have you can play up to 4 players in a match. So definitely, like, we had a lot of fun just playing against each other. But if you have like 3 or 4 friends, definitely get on this as a group. And the best thing is you can play locally, or you can easily invite people through Steam. Like, it's very simple to do, and I definitely recommend if you haven't picked this, if you haven't looked at this game already, definitely get it. And if you have gotten into this game and haven't looked at it for a while, definitely get back into it, because I think it has a lot to offer for those who are like fans of Smash Bros. And like just platform fighters in general.
For sure, and especially if you're looking for something casual that can still give you a real good time for a long time. Yeah, stick fight the game is definitely the way to go there. So we both highly recommend this game. Get it if you can, because you are not going to regret it. There is so much you can do with this game.
It is so much fun. And honestly, like, I cannot wait until we can get Pharaoh into a game.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes now that we're going to be amping it up from a one-on-one to basically a triple threat.
I think he's going to do pretty well, because like we both know that he's not a big fighting game guy, but he does know Smash Bros.
He does. So at least there's some familiarity for him. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun once we get him involved in this.
It will be. Yes.
So that is our indie spotlight. And now for our weekly discussion topic. I actually picked this one up because I was actually able to remember this one off the top of my head.
Yes, and you want a continuation from last week's discussion. So
exactly.
Let's get into talking about the possibility of future VR video games.
Yes, virtual reality was one of the facets that we touched upon in our last episode, where we spoke about the future of fighting video games now that arcades are pretty much dying out in the West. Virtual reality, like we've already seen that to an extent with PlayStation and as well with Meta as well. But I think specifically with fighting games, I think that... Oh boy.
Question is there really a market? Because like VR, not everyone goes for VR, and we like even on YouTube you don't see that many VR video games being spotlighted.
This is true.
So like I'm wondering, like, even if like and we have seen some devs like working on VR or fighting games. So the question is, will it be actually something that people want?
Yeah, because when you talk about video games in general that utilize virtual reality, it's usually for a casual playing experience.
It's casual, although I have seen some, like there's this one game that I know of, I forget the name of it right now, but it was basically a Coliseum type game, and you were basically a gladiator who had to survive waves and waves of enemies.
Ah,
And you know, like there are some VR editions of other games that are pretty action oriented. So like even though there's not much coverage, I think there is still like a small audience that could be drawn upon.
yeah,
It might just be like a really small niche that we get from VR fighting games if and when it happens.
Yep.
The best thing I can think of for the future of fighting games is in terms of VR and maybe AR is possibly like just starting out with like a couple of really smart indie developers, and then I think if they can make a VR fighting game take off there, then maybe we might get something from the AAA gamers.
Yeah, very very possible, but I think like as far as like limitations would go, I mean like I'm not even really sure how many people would want to see a VR fighting game in like a tournament or something like that, and you also have to take into account how different players adjust to playing a virtual reality game.
Yes, and plus
There's that too.
and that also brings up the question like what are the movesets going to be like? Are you going to be able to like select characters that have like certain playstyles like grappling? How's grappling going to work when you can't really grapple an opponent in real life? You're just kind of like approximating like how far away you are from them and just kind of doing the motions.
And that's even another thing right there is utilizing full body motion.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Like
that it sounds like a really good idea, but it can also cause a bunch of issues.
I know, like VR. Usually, you're stationary for VR, and you're just looking around. Like even for moving around a stage, like you're usually just still using a joystick.
Yeah.
So how would this work in a VR fighting game when you can't? Well, you might not have enough space to walk around and do actual like kickflips and stuff. But like fighting games, they're all about like maneuvering around, playing footsies and poking.
Exactly. So I mean, like, I can see this working, like movement wise. I can see it working when it comes to being stationary. But I think if you want it to be like very intense with how different moves are pulled off in the game itself, I honestly, I just don't know how you would really make it work. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
but
I think the way it might go, like if it does happen, and it probably will happen, but I think the way it will go is that you just control everything with a controller, but you utilize like the visuals through the VR, and that's what's basically going to be it. Like you will look around, you'll see your opponent in the virtual space, and then you will click buttons and move joysticks accordingly to combat.
Yep, and I mean we've already kind of gotten a little bit of a taste of what a VR fighting game could be like. I do know that Tekken 7 offered a virtual reality mode.
Oh, did it?
It did. I've tried it out myself. I didn't play too much of it because of the increased strain on my eyes.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool because even though that you don't get to go into like first person point of view, you actually do get to look around though.
Oh yeah, you get a good view of the stage.
A full 360 view of the stage. So like if you're playing on Infinite Azure at nighttime, like you can literally look around and you'll see stars everywhere.
Oh yeah,
man.
that would have to be a beautiful view.
Oh,
just getting the whole 180 on that.
It was gorgeous, and like not only that, but the best part about it was that yeah, you didn't have to move around too much. You were pretty much just stationary. You had the controller in your hand. It was basically just playing Tekken, but with the added ability of actually being able to look around and see other parts of the stage.
Stop and smell the roses, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. So
Yeah,
we've gotten
okay.
we've gotten a little taste of that, and I mean it's not the best example, but it's a starting point.
Okay, so like maybe VR fighting games, like maybe virtual reality isn't like going to be a super big change if and when they do it. Like it might just be like a way to amp up the visual appeal of fighting games, and then like like gameplay wise, it's just the same as like playing on a console as per usual.
Yeah, at the very least. But I think what would be interesting as a challenge, is if you had a virtual reality fighting game and you had to use the arcade stick.
That would be interesting.
That would be pretty interesting.
Or if you had like the VR set and it was like a top down view.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be cool.
That would be interesting because I don't think I've ever seen a fighting game that does a top down view. It's always
I don't
from
think
the
so
side.
either. Yeah, it's always a side view, not a top down view.
Yeah,
so that'd be pretty cool.
I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah. So there is some it's players using their buys for the actual moves isn't necessarily off the table because like Nintendo, they have their own like fitness boxing game.
That's a good point.
Which even I know from looking at the eShop, they do have a version of it where it's like it's a Fist of the North Stars theme thing. So I think the tech is definitely out there. I think it's definitely plausible that we could actually do like a full body VR experience. It just might need some fine tuning before it actually gets out there. Yeah,
definitely lots of testing for sure. And if they're able to pull it off in a tournament, definitely going to need to make a lot of room.
Oh yeah.
Or try and see if you can book a bigger venue.
Yeah.
Just in general, because it's very obvious that there will still be some flaws. Like no method of gaming is perfect. There will always be at least, a couple flaws. But if you want to get it as close to perfect as possible, it's going to need a lot of tweaking.
I'd say probably for tournaments, probably the one or two strategies they could do is either one, you basically put them in one of those VR hamster balls.
Oh that could work.
That way they have full range of movement, but yet they're still they're still encased in a just a 6 foot wide space. Or they could go the route of maybe having the floor being a conveyor belt that always brings you back to center. Although that could be a little tricky for footing.
A little bit.
or they could just attach you to a robo arm and have you all hooked up to different robot parts, and then you're just basically floating in the air and doing the stuff. Kind of like how they would put actors on strings in for stunts in the movies.
Oh, so something similar to doing motion capture.
Yes. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah. That
would be really neat to see.
It would be cool. Yes, and plus, any of those strategies to doing tournaments like that. That way, you wouldn't have to actually find bigger venues. You could just do a small space still.
That is incredible. That would be so cool to see, man. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that could definitely be one of the major ways that fighting games could go. Again, referencing last week, I think virtual reality and artificial intelligence. It's the future, man.
Yeah, AI. That's probably going to be our next topic next week is AI in fighting games, because I think that's going to go places really fast in this day and age. AI has gone into a renaissance now in the last year or so. So I think fighting games really utilizing that, and there being a lot to go forward with that is not too out of the realm of possibility. So we'll probably cover that in the next week's discussion topic. So look forward to that.
Yep, definitely.
In the meantime, let's close out, Wolf. I believe we have some dream rosters to go through, and you had a very interesting one, which I was quite surprised at.
Yes, I was surprised by this as well, with the fact that I even thought about this to begin with. But a fighting game revolving around world leaders from before the 2000s, so basically before the 21st century.
Right, because we don't want to make any current politicians nervous.
Yeah, and plus we also don't want the authorities after us for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thinking about a game that involved individuals like George Washington, Joseph Stalin, John F. Kennedy, Mahatma Gandhi. Actually, was Mahatma Gandhi a world leader?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not too.
I don't know.
I'm not too up on my world history, but definitely you could get a lot of U.S. presidents duking it out.
Absolutely, Dwight D. Eisenhower being one of them. You could also have Thomas Jefferson,
Lincoln,
Abraham Lincoln. Yep.
what's his name from Night Museum?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah,
There we
him.
go. Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, I can see him being a shoo-in for your roster.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, not only that, but he is one of the most iconic presidents of the United States.
Yeah, and
So that as well.
and why stop at like the the 20th century? Why not go back a little further in the past to like old rulers of ancient civilizations? Like you could have like
Oh, yeah.
you could have Alexander from Greece. You could have
Yep.
Cleopatra from Egypt. You could have who else am I missing? What's his name? The guy who took over most of Asia.
What's his name?
Khan or
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Genghis
There we
Khan.
go.
Yeah,
Genghis Khan.
Yeah. So yeah, there is definitely potential for a fighting game like that.
For sure. And I mean, as far as like the gameplay is concerned, I would see this being like very traditional. I guess like a traditional 2D fighter, but like outside of that, I'm not really even sure what else I would implement into that. This is just like probably the most out of left field idea I've ever come up with for this. So I honestly have no clue what this game would even really look like outside of what the roster could end up being. Although it would be pretty cool though to actually have the option to sort out each character by their nationality, because we don't really see that too often.
Yeah, like the only real good example I can think of is Tekken, because like you got like a world roster there.
Yep, Street Fighter as well. I think Darkstalkers briefly did something like that.
They have a little bit of representation
A
here and
little
there,
bit.
but not as much.
Yeah, so definitely sorting out the characters by nationality would be pretty cool. Sorting them out by decades or centuries would be pretty cool as well, additionally. And definitely stage-wise, like
You could do so much
historical
with stage.
places.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. You could do so much with stages, and as far as like animations in the background, like I can definitely see the White House and just the 4th of July thing happening in the background.
Oh, totally. That could definitely happen. That would be huge. I mean, maybe for like European locations, why not Stonehenge in Scotland?
Oh, that would be perfect.
That's like one of the most iconic landmarks in the world. So
You got the Louvre and Eiffel Tower for Paris.
Yep.
You got the Colosseum in Rome.
Yep, Buckingham Palace in England.
Yep, that too. And then of course, I'm pretty sure there's some famous Norse thing we could do for Scandinavia.
Definitely. And even for like Canada as well, you could use Parliament Hill, which is out in Ottawa.
Oh yeah, totally.
You
And
could use that as well.
and you could also have like that big Jesus statue in Brazil.
Oh yes.
You could
that one too.
you could throw in like a Nori shrine in Japan.
Yep, maybe the Great Wall in China.
Oh yeah, that would be great. And then of course like the Russian palaces.
Yes, the Kremlin. Yes.
Yes.
The Kremlin.
Yes.
There we go.
So
yeah,
definitely a lot we could work with in this fighting game.
for sure. But I will guarantee this right now. What you selected is like 100 times more interesting than mine. I'll say that right now. Yours is 100% better than mine. So going ahead, let's close it out with a bang.
Yeah, so my idea for a dream roster, I've been having consoles on the brain recently. I've been looking back at some history of different consoles, because I've been looking at like the state of video games on YouTube right now, and I just thought, why not have a video game that basically encapsulates the essence of the console wars?
Which is just like, that's absolutely insane. It's crazy. But it sounds like such a good idea.
It is I think it is, because like it wouldn't be like humanoid versions of consoles. It would be actually the consoles themselves. And like given how many like moving parts each console has, I could see this being a pretty good thing. Like you could have the PlayStation with its remote like its wireless controllers like doing something. You could have all the handheld consoles almost doing something there. Like I'm sure the Game Boy Advance could do like a little flip thing, like flipping out like a flip phone or something.
That would be a good one.
Something like that. And Xbox, I'm sure we could find something for its in terms of like its Xbox game subscription. I'm sure that would come into play. And then, of course, Nintendo with a bunch of their stuff, like the Switch, they would have the Joy-Cons. They could like come out and play. Same with the Wii with its nunchucks. And then, of course, you would have the NES, which has just a huge amount of add-ons. Like we have, like just to name a few, like we have the light gun for Duck Hunt, and we have Rob.
Yes, that and the Power Glove too.
That too,
the NES Power Glove.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot to like jump on here because like you have consoles, you have handhelds, you have like all the different things that came with them, and of course especially with the SNES, I can see that being like a summon character sort of thing, and then, of course, you had all the Sega, like all the old Sega stuff, like Sega Drives and Sega Genesis, Saturn.
The Dreamcast.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I can just imagine their Sega's old mascot, the what's his name, the guy in the Karate Gi who jumped out at kids and beat them up if they didn't buy Sega.
What's the guy's name? I can picture him.
Something Sakurai, I think.
I can picture him, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, but I can definitely see him being like a summon for a Sega console or something.
Oh, definitely. I think it would be the perfect idea. We would be remiss if we didn't put him in there.
Yeah, so I can see this as like either a traditional 2D fighting game or like an arena fighter, like Tekken wise. Like either one of those two formats, I could see those being for this console war game, and I think it would just be crazy because like again, like you have so many different things for each console. Like oh my gosh, the DS and 3DS, I can imagine them. I can imagine them implementing the styluses. That would be an interesting mechanic, honestly.
Yes, or actually, the 3DS could actually utilize the 3D function as a way to
that
mess
is
with the
also
opponent.
a great idea. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think of that. But yeah, so that and that's just the fighters. Like I could think of like mechanics in terms of having like a popularity bar.
Oh, that would be good.
It like powers up. Like say like you damage your opponent and like they take like actual visual damage as they get beat up. But then you have the fans like rally to you to like have like an equilibrium in the flame wars, and then like that gives you like a last chance boost, kind of like the rage stuff in Tekken.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff there that we could do, and then of course the stages are endless.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. Like I can imagine like there being a stage for each of like the lobby rooms for each of the and like the lobby and game selection screens for like each of the consoles that are in the modern times, and then of course like all the different like biggest game franchises having their own like unique stage.
Oh man, that would be crazy. Can you imagine that World 1-1 from the original Mario Bros?
Oh yes,
or like Green Hill Zone from the original Sonic?
Yes, or maybe getting into more modern stuff. Like I could definitely see like a Mario RPG stage coming in here.
Yeah,
we could have. Oh well, we also definitely have to have like a Persona.
Oh, for sure.
Thing somewhere in here.
Oh, absolutely, man. Maybe have something from like God of War or Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, those guys would be shoo-ins for stages, honestly.
Yeah, because those go like all over the place, man.
Yeah,
we go all over the place.
We could have like something from Spyro or Crash Bandicoot.
Yes.
We could have Metroid. We could have Halo for the Xbox fans. Like, there's just so much potential for a game like this. Maybe someday when all the stars align, all the video game companies just settle down for like 2 seconds and they stop competing against each other and they come together and they say, hey, you know that crazy war we had back in the 90s, let's poke some fun at that and just do this console war game.
Honestly, it would be the perfect send-off for gamers in general, man.
It would be.
It would be, because like those wars existed for a reason. They existed for a reason. We all wanted to show our support for our favorite consoles, you know? And basically, like, just us going back and forth saying, you know, the Nintendo 64 is better. No, the Genesis is better.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And it got crazy, like, especially with the company shenanigans. Like, you had, like, Sony put a guy in a Crash Bandicoot costume, and he went up to like I think it was Nintendo's head office, and he just badmouthed them for like an hour.
Yeah, there
absolutely
you go.
Hilarious. Yeah,
just the crazy stuff. Like at the time, Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, it was terrible.
It was the
but-
90s. Like this level of cringe was expected, and it was just honestly just awesome back then.
Yeah, but ultimately, in retrospect, like this game would essentially be a love letter to video gamers all over the world.
Which honestly makes you wonder if if the entire roster is filled with all the consoles consoles from the past and present, who would we put as the final boss in this game? In a story mode.
Oh man, that would be really tough. I'm imagining, okay, the first thing that comes to mind to me is maybe maybe something like a Megazord style, I don't know, some sort of thing like that.
That could be
combining all of them, I guess.
Or
I don't know.
Arcade cabinets.
Oh my god.
That would be perfect. Oh my god.
That would be crazy. Oh my goodness.
The
arcade cabinet.
Yeah, like an undead arcade cabinet coming back from the dead one more time to try to just scrounge out its place like among the consoles.
Oh no, wait a minute. What about the Atari?
Oh, damn!
The Atari 2600.
Oh, damn! Well, I'm not sure, because I think the Atari, granted, it wasn't the best console in the world,
True.
In the history, but I think it would, just based on, the history it does have and how much it did for the video game industry before the crash.
Yeah.
I think it deserves a place in the roster, honestly. But yeah, I think arcade machines would be the best final boss, because they weren't really part of the console wars. They just kind of got eked out by the consoles.
Yeah.
So I think just them coming back for revenge and the console and whichever console you choose having to fight them in the final boss area, I think that would be cool. Or you could do PCs.
I was literally just about to say that. Oh my god.
Have PCs as a secret boss somewhere.
There you go. It would be you guys forgot about the PC Master Race. I'm going to make you pay for that.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of potential
my.
there. So yeah, that's my idea for a dream roster this week, and I pray to the gaming gods that this happens someday. This would be awesome, honestly.
Hopefully it does. I know for a fact we're both probably going to be on our deathbeds and beyond our deathbeds when that happens. But you know what? If it ever happens, people will be eternally grateful for it.
Yes.
I can tell you that much. Video gaming has come a long way, and it's not stopping anytime soon.
It's going to keep evolving, and we'll get... I know that the consoles themselves are kind of starting to die out, and we're getting some more just streaming through TV and what handhelds that Nintendo comes out with moving forward, with the Switch 2, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, still, we're always gonna still find ways to play games on different devices, and I think this would just be a huge love letter. And oh my gosh, I just thought of another secret boss that this game could have: mobile games.
Oh my god!
Put a phone in as a sub boss.
Oh no! Oh boy! Oh man, that would be insane. That would be insane. Oh my goodness!
Android, get on this.
No, actually, Nokia.
Oh!
The Nokia phones are notorious because those things don't break.
Oh yeah.
They don't break, and it's yeah, they offer a limited selection of games, including Snake, but it's it's something that you can come back to. It's not something like a Samsung Galaxy or an iPhone where it's there's the possibility of it, getting ruined, but it's you could run a Nokia over with you could run it over with a minivan, a truck,
steamroller,
a sedan, a steamroller, a monster truck, and it would still be fine. So that would be I feel that could be the ultimate test right there.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That would definitely be the character that has armor on its moves.
Oh, definitely. And you know what? To make it even more challenging but still fun, maybe make it an endurance challenge.
Sure.
See if you've got what it takes to beat it.
Ooh.
It'd be crazy.
That phone could be this game's version of the car from Street Fighter 2.
Oh yes, yes, the car from the bonus stage.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, that would be amazing. That'd be so neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. That is our dream rosters for this episode. We are gonna wrap it up here. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for this one, who's listening. Thank you all as well for your patience in regards to episode delays. with them being posted, things get a little hectic at times.
And the audio, we do apologize for that. Like, I know the last several times we've been recording our things through Discord, and just now, because Discord wasn't working for us, we had to record this live. So we do apologize for that, but we will be trying to get more like in-person live recordings happening, so that you guys don't have to worry about the god awful Discord audio. So we do apologize for that. We might have to hold with that for a little bit longer, but we should hopefully wean our way out off of that eventually.
Definitely. And as per usual, be sure to tell your friends about this podcast, tell your family members about the podcast if they're interested, tell your significant other maybe if they're into video games. Why not?
There are gaming companies out there, yeah.
Yeah, so why not get them to listen in as well? Be sure to follow us on be sure to follow the podcast on Podbean. Also, make sure to follow Canine Calamity on Twitter. I know it's called X. I still call it Twitter because it's Twitter.
Long live the bird.
Yes, long live the bird. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram as well. K9C_official. And we'll be back with you guys very soon with the next episode of Season 1. Anything you want to add before we finish up?
Yes, and of course, we will also be still working on our RSS feed to get this podcast out to Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, so look forward to that in the near future. We will get this figured out at some point. It's going to happen. We just don't know when exactly, but we will make it happen, so look forward to that. And of course, again, look forward to our first episode on our YouTube channel, which will come out in the next week or so. So look forward to that. We will let you guys know on the socials when that happens. And look forward to me whooping Wolf's ass at Tekken 8.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. But from us here at Canine Calamity, this is Wolfpack.
This is Shamaro.
Stay warm, stay safe,
and keep
most
fighting.
Importantly, fight on. We'll see all you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody.
See ya.